You wake up every morning, and the first battle is fought in silence. It's not the alarm clock that challenges you, it's the whisper in your mind that asks, "Am I enough?" That whisper is older than your fears, older than your doubts, older than any failure you've ever carried. It is the echo of every limiting thought you have allowed to root itself in the soil of your consciousness. And here is the truth that most will never tell you. You become exactly what you believe. Every dream you chase, every fortune you pursue, every purpose you try to live out is born first in the theater of your mind. Edison failed 1,000 times, yet he never once believed he was incapable of light. Carnegie started with nothing, yet he believed he could build empires that would outlast time. Lincoln was ridiculed, doubted, and nearly destroyed, yet he believed in the vision of a united nation that the world would someday recognize as justice. Your beliefs are not idle thoughts, they are seeds of destiny, and the choice to decide what you plant today is the difference between living in regret and commanding your future. It begins with the mind. Not your circumstances, not your background, not your bank account, but the mind, the soil where your beliefs grow. If you cultivate doubt, hesitation, fear, indecision, then your reality will mirror those shadows. But if you cultivate belief, unshakable, relentless, radiant belief, then everything around you begins to bend toward the life you imagine. Visualize Henry Ford, standing in a barn with nothing but an engine and a dream. Everyone said it couldn't be done, that cars were luxuries for the few, that failure was inevitable. But Ford believed. And because he believed, he became the master of an industry, the ruler of possibilities that had never existed. You see, belief does not whisper to the timid. It shouts to the persistent. It refuses compromise, it disdains hesitation, it laughs at impossibility. To believe is to act, to believe is to create, to believe is to transform. And yet belief alone is not enough. Clarity must accompany conviction. Disney did not simply believe in magic, he believed in a vision he could see with the eyes of his mind, even when the world laughed at him. Carnegie did not merely believe in wealth, he believed in a strategy, in a blueprint, in the architecture of action that would manifest his ideas into reality. To believe without clarity is to set sail without a compass. Decide today what you want, with a precision that leaves no room for vagueness. Your purpose is the compass. Your belief is the wind in your sails. Without clarity, even the most potent belief becomes a ship adrift in a storm. With clarity, it becomes a missile, unstoppable, unyielding, and destined to strike the shores of your future with authority. Purpose is the fire that keeps belief alive when adversity screams. Imagine Abraham Lincoln walking through the depths of personal loss, political failure, and national crisis. He could have surrendered to despair, could have whispered the lie that life is unfair and nothing can be done. But purpose is more than a feeling. It is a covenant with your own potential. Purpose refuses to bow. Purpose whispers to the soul, do not falter, do not hesitate, do not surrender. You are here for a reason, and the world waits for what only you can give. When purpose and belief intertwine, they create a force that cannot be measured by money, status, or approval. They create a force that commands results, because the universe bends for those who have aligned themselves with truth, conviction, and relentless intent. Discipline is the scaffolding on which belief and purpose build reality. You may believe and you may see clearly, but without the daily commitment to your vision, the mind begins to wander, excuses begin to take root, and mediocrity whispers, "Wait, tomorrow will do." Edison spent countless nights in isolation, failing, testing, and refining, because he understood that belief without labor is mere fantasy. Ford worked tirelessly to refine, produce, and deliver, because he knew that the world does not reward ideas, it rewards execution. Discipline is not punishment, it is respect for your vision. It is the armor that protects you from procrastination, the weapon that slays hesitation, and the bridge that carries you across the chasm between dreaming and becoming. Action is the heartbeat of belief. You cannot sit in a chair, recite affirmations, or visualize wealth and purpose into your lap. Action moves the invisible into the tangible. Carnegie invested, Edison tested, Disney built, Lincoln spoke, Ford manufactured. Every one of them moved forward when the ground beneath them trembled with doubt. Every step taken in courage is a declaration that you are no longer bound by circumstance, that you are no longer a victim of external opinion, that you are the architect of your destiny. Decide today to move. Decide today to act as if success is inevitable. Decide today that you will not be stopped by fear, delay, or hesitation. The world responds to action far more than it does to hope. Gratitude is the secret lever that multiplies belief into abundance. Those who succeed at the highest level do not merely chase results, they recognize, they acknowledge, they respect the life they have been given. Napoleon Hill himself said that faith in a higher purpose, gratitude, and recognition of unseen forces allows energy to flow freely, transforming obstacles into stepping stones. When you wake and count the blessings, the opportunities, the talents that you already possess, you prime your mind to attract more. Gratitude is not passive, it is an amplifier for belief, a clarifier for purpose, and a shield against envy, fear, and doubt. Adaptability is the silent partner of belief. History does not honor rigidity. Thomas Edison adapted every failed experiment into a lesson. Lincoln adapted strategy after strategy until the Union endured. Ford adapted production methods until efficiency became legend. To believe is to be committed, but to survive and thrive, you must also be flexible. The world will test you in ways that no vision or plan can predict. The true test of belief is not blind insistence, but the ability to bend without breaking, to pivot without surrendering, to change methods without abandoning your destination. Resilience is the crown of belief. Every great life is marked by setbacks, betrayals, and moments when the ground seems to crumble beneath your feet. Yet resilience does not ask permission, it rises. It does not negotiate, it persists. The mind that refuses to surrender, the soul that refuses to compromise, the spirit that refuses to accept defeat, this is the mind that belief builds. You become the force you imagine, because the universe cannot resist someone who refuses to yield, someone who refuses to abandon the vision that they have already decided is their destiny. Learning is the fuel of belief. Carnegie read ceaselessly, Edison experimented endlessly, Disney innovated relentlessly. Knowledge transforms uncertainty into strategy, ignorance into power. The mind that learns, adapts, and grows every single day multiplies belief into results, turning dreams into empirical reality. Every failure becomes a lesson, every obstacle a mentor, every challenge a classroom. You do not merely stumble upon success, you educate yourself to deserve it. And so, you stand at this very moment, the crossroads of your life, confronted with the simplest yet most profound truth. You become what you believe. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. The thoughts you nurture, the convictions you declare, the vision you carry into action, these are the architects of your destiny. Decide now. Decide to see yourself as powerful, capable, and unstoppable. Decide to align mind, heart, and action with a vision that refuses mediocrity. Decide to believe so completely that the world bends to your resolve. When you decide to believe, you ignite a chain reaction that reshapes your very existence. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Abraham Lincoln spent years envisioning a united nation while war raged around him. Edison visualized bulbs illuminating a world that laughed at the idea of electricity. Disney imagined kingdoms and dreams so grand they could only exist if someone dared to give life to them. Your belief is your imagination given armor, sharpened into purpose. Each thought you allow to dwell, each conviction you choose to own, each risk you dare to take is a chisel carving the monument of your destiny. Nothing in the world can move you unless you first move yourself. Nothing in history was achieved by the hesitant or the faint-hearted. Every empire, every innovation, every life of influence began with a mind that refused to obey limitation. Clarity is your sword. Without clarity, belief becomes vague hope. A clear mind sees opportunity when others see chaos. Carnegie understood every investment and action because he had a crystal clear vision of what he intended to build. Ford redesigned the automobile and production lines because he knew exactly what efficiency, accessibility, and innovation meant in his mind's eye before it ever touched the world. You cannot stumble into greatness. You cannot wander accidentally into mastery. You must see it. You must know it. You must be so intimately familiar with the life you intend to live that doubt cannot find a foothold. Clarity cuts through hesitation, it ignites determination, and it channels your energy toward the outcomes that matter most. Without it, your actions scatter like seeds on barren soil. With it, even the smallest step moves mountains. Purpose is the flame that refuses to be extinguished. There is a reason you were born into this time, into these circumstances, into this world of opportunity and trial. Purpose is not a wish. Purpose is not convenience. Purpose is the covenant between your potential and your actions, a promise written in sweat, forged in patience, and executed with unwavering courage. Look at Lincoln, tirelessly defending the principle of freedom when ridicule and death loomed. Look at Edison, turning night into day with a determination that refused to acknowledge failure. Look at Carnegie, building libraries and empires because he understood the legacy of knowledge and influence. Purpose is the engine that transforms belief from quiet hope into unstoppable momentum. Discipline is the quiet, invisible power that underwrites every achievement. The world rarely sees the hours Edison spent testing filament after filament, nor the nights Ford pored over engineering diagrams. They understood what most overlook. Talent is wasted without discipline. Discipline is not a punishment, it is loyalty to your vision. It is the daily, relentless insistence that what you want more than anything else in the world is worth the inconvenience, worth the struggle, worth the sacrifice. The mind that practices discipline becomes a fortress, immune to the whispers of procrastination and fear. Discipline sharpens the will, aligns action with intention, and transforms chaotic energy into results. Action is the bridge from thought to reality. Belief without action is like a candle unlit in the dark. Every great success in history was preceded by relentless, imperfect, audacious action. Carnegie did not sit and imagine wealth, he invested, negotiated, and executed. Edison did not dream of light, he invented, tested, and failed forward. Disney did not visualize Disneyland and wait, he built it, brick by brick, dream by dream. You cannot wait for confidence to arrive. You create it in the act of doing. Move, do, fail, adjust, repeat. Action is the language of the universe. Gratitude multiplies the impact of Bellet. It is not a passive acknowledgement. It is a dynamic force that shifts perception, attracts opportunity, and sustains energy. Every success story in history, every empire, every masterpiece is undergirded by recognition of what is already present. When you start your day by appreciating what you have, you amplify what is possible. Gratitude clears the mind of envy, of fear, of hesitation, allowing creativity, courage, and focus to flourish. It is the unseen lever that converts belief into abundance, transforming every obstacle into a stepping stone, every trial into a teacher. Adaptability is the unseen force that ensures survival and progress. Belief is strong, but rigid belief without flexibility is brittle. The world changes constantly. Industries collapse, circumstances shift. Yet the mind that adapts, that pivots without surrendering its purpose, becomes unstoppable. Edison learned from failure, not despite it, but because of it. Lincoln adjusted strategy when war demanded it. Ford innovated production methods when old ways failed. Adaptability does not weaken conviction, it strengthens it. It allows your vision to flow around barriers, to convert resistance into advantage, to thrive where others break. Resilience crowns the architecture of belief. It is not simply endurance, it is the unbreakable insistence that no matter what falls, what fails, what trembles, you rise. Every life worth remembering is marked by moments of near defeat, when the world seems bent on your failure. When every voice outside shouts, "Stop! Give up! You cannot!" Resilience whispers, "I will continue, I will learn, I will become." It is the quiet roar beneath the surface, the relentless pulse that moves you forward when desire and will alone may falter. The mind that builds resilience within itself becomes untouchable, a force of nature unstoppable by circumstance. Learning is the fuel, the lens, and the compass of your belief. Every triumph you admire in history was preceded by insatiable curiosity, by tireless acquisition of knowledge, by a refusal to let ignorance govern destiny. Carnegie read tirelessly. Edison experimented endlessly. Disney observed, adapted, and innovated constantly. Knowledge converts uncertainty into strategy, fear into confidence, hesitation into action. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every challenge a teacher, every obstacle a classroom. The life that learns is a life that expands beyond limitation. You do not stumble into greatness, you educate yourself to deserve it. And now, at this moment, you face the simple yet profound truth. You become what you believe. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Your mind, your focus, your actions, your persistence, your clarity, your gratitude, your adaptability, these are the building blocks of the life you are destined to lead. The world does not act on your behalf. It responds to your resolve. The universe bows to the mind that refuses to yield, to the heart that refuses to compromise, to the spirit that refuses to accept less than its vision. Decide today. Decide to believe in your power. Decide to see, with unflinching clarity, who you are and what you are capable of. Decide to act. Decide to become. Decide today, because hesitation is the enemy of greatness. Every moment you delay, doubt creeps in, and the seeds of mediocrity take root. The world does not pause for indecision. Carnegie, Edison, Disney, Lincoln, Ford. They did not wait for permission, clarity, or comfort. They acted while the odds were against them, while the world doubted, while fear whispered that failure was inevitable. Action is the heartbeat of belief, and without it, even the most powerful convictions wither into unrealized dreams. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a declaration that your destiny will not be postponed, that your vision will not be compromised, and that the person you are becoming is already unstoppable. Every day, you face a choice: to allow the circumstances around you to define your life, or to define your life despite them. History rewards those who rise, not those who wait. Edison could have surrendered to the darkness of repeated failure, but he believed in his vision of light so completely that every failure became fuel. Ford could have abandoned the dream of automobiles for the comfort of accepted norms, but he persisted because belief is stronger than fear. Disney could have accepted ridicule, but he knew that imagination, when fused with relentless action, becomes reality. And you, here and now, are no different. Your mind is the engine, your belief is the fuel, and your action is the ignition. Visualize the life you want, not as a vague wish, not as a distant hope, but as a concrete, vivid reality. Picture it as Edison pictured a bulb lighting up the world, as Carnegie pictured libraries and industries that would outlast centuries, as Lincoln pictured a nation unified under justice. The mind responds to clarity, to vision, to vivid belief. When you see your destiny in such detail, hesitation falters, fear retreats. The ordinary falls away, and what remains is the extraordinary you were born to become. Visualization is not fantasy, it is rehearsal for reality, a blueprint that transforms thought into action and action into legacy. Discipline ensures that vision does not remain trapped in imagination. Every great achievement is supported by invisible hours, tireless effort, and a commitment to consistency. The mind that refuses discipline flounders in chaos. The mind that commands discipline moves with precision and purpose. Ford did not simply dream of a revolution in manufacturing. He disciplined himself and his team to refine processes until efficiency became legend. Edison did not merely imagine light. He disciplined himself to endure failure after failure, testing filament after filament. Discipline converts belief into a system, chaos into order, and fleeting inspiration into unstoppable momentum. Belief demands resilience because the road is never straight. Setbacks will come. Failures will arrive. Criticism will strike. But resilience is not merely endurance. It is a refusal to let circumstance dictate destiny. It is the mind's declaration: I will rise, I will adapt, I will prevail. Consider Lincoln, navigating a nation torn by war while personal tragedy struck repeatedly. He did not crumble. Consider Edison, facing thousands of failed experiments and the ridicule of peers, yet persisting until light conquered darkness. Resilience is the lifeblood of the believer, the quiet pulse that sustains vision when doubt threatens to destroy it. Adaptability is the force multiplier of belief. It is the recognition that the world will not wait for you to align with its chaos. You must align with it and bend without breaking. Edison experimented endlessly, each failure a lesson in a world that refused to forgive inexperience. Lincoln adjusted strategy to meet the evolving battlefield, never abandoning his ultimate purpose. Ford reinvented production when the old methods failed, refusing to let pride or comfort block progress. Adaptability allows you to act decisively without surrendering your goals, to shift without compromising your vision, to survive while still conquering. Gratitude transforms belief into a magnetic force. When you recognize what you already have: talent, opportunity, experience, you activate a law older than civilization itself. Abundance grows in minds that honor it. Carnegie gave libraries because he valued knowledge. Edison gave the world light because he appreciated the spark of possibility in every trial. Disney gave joy to generations because he revered imagination as a sacred gift. Gratitude clears mental clutter, sharpens focus, and multiplies the results of every action you take. It is not sentiment, it is strategy, the secret engine behind enduring success. Learning is the bridge between belief and mastery. Knowledge is not power applied, knowledge is. Every setback, every failure, every rejection becomes a classroom when you study it with purpose. Edison learned from each filament that did not light. Lincoln learned from each political misstep that threatened a nation. Ford learned from every inefficiency until innovation became the standard. Learning is the persistent, unyielding pursuit of improvement. The engine that ensures belief is constantly refined, sharpened, and expanded. The life that stops learning is the life that surrenders to limitation. The life that learns becomes unstoppable. And now, the culmination of all of this, the truth that has echoed through history, whispered by the great, and proven by the relentless, is simple yet profound. Your life is the direct reflection of what you believe about yourself and your possibilities. Not your past, not your circumstances, not your obstacles, but what you choose to believe. Carnegie believed in the architecture of wealth. Edison believed in the power to illuminate the world. Lincoln believed in justice against the harshest odds. Disney believed in dreams so vivid that the world could not ignore them. And you, right here, right now, hold that same power within your mind. Decide today. Decide with unwavering conviction that you are capable, worthy, and destined to rise. Decide to believe, and the world must obey. Decide today, because every second you hesitate, opportunity slips quietly past, unnoticed, unclaimed. Life does not wait for readiness. Fortune does not knock for permission. The world responds not to what you wish, but to what you believe, and the courage to act on it. Look at Edison, standing among 1,000 failures, filament after filament extinguished, yet each one a stepping stone toward illumination. Look at Ford, standing in the midst of factories and skepticism, driven by a vision others could not see, crafting automobiles that would change transportation forever. Look at Lincoln, walking amid war, grief, and doubt, driven by an unshakable belief in unity and justice. Each one of them decided to persist, to endure, to act, to create. And you, in this moment, are called to make that same decision. Your beliefs are not mere thoughts, they are the architects of reality. What you believe shapes what you see, what you attract, what you do, and ultimately, who you become. Doubt is the enemy, fear is the shadow, hesitation is the thief. But belief is light. Belief is fire. Belief is a hammer that breaks walls, a sword that cuts through limitation, a compass that guides through storms. When you decide to believe in your potential, to see your vision with unflinching clarity, to act with relentless determination, you initiate a chain reaction that transforms the intangible into the tangible. The world will resist, obstacles will rise, and failure will knock. But your belief, anchored in purpose and disciplined action, will prevail. Visualization is your ally in this war of becoming. See your future not as a hazy dream, but as a living, breathing reality in your mind's eye. Imagine the life you desire as Edison imagined a world lit by his invention. Imagine the impact you will leave as Carnegie imagined empires of influence and philanthropy. Picture the triumphs, the challenges, the victories, the lessons. Feel them as if they are happening now. The mind does not distinguish vividly imagined events from experienced reality. By seeing it, believing it, and feeling it with intensity, you begin to draw it into existence. Clarity plus belief is a force multiplier. It aligns energy, action, and focus toward a single undeniable truth. You are becoming exactly what you believe. Discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. Without discipline, the most vivid imagination remains a fleeting thought, a whisper of potential that dies in procrastination. Edison disciplined himself to test, repeat, and refine relentlessly. Lincoln disciplined himself to strategize, debate, and endure through unimaginable trials. Ford disciplined himself to innovate, implement, and improve ceaselessly. Discipline is not drudgery, it is the devotion to your vision in every moment, the refusal to surrender to comfort or distraction. It is the steady hand guiding the ship through turbulent waters, the quiet engine that keeps momentum alive when passion alone begins to falter. Discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. Without discipline, the most vivid imagination remains a fleeting thought, a whisper of potential that dies in procrastination. Edison disciplined himself to test, repeat, and refine relentlessly. Lincoln disciplined himself to strategize, debate, and endure through unimaginable trials. Ford disciplined himself to innovate, implement, and improve ceaselessly. Discipline is not drudgery, it is the devotion to your vision in every moment, the refusal to surrender to comfort or distraction. It is the steady hand guiding the ship through turbulent waters, the quiet engine that keeps momentum alive when passion alone begins to falter. Action is the heartbeat of belief. Without action, belief remains impotent. Dreams are seeds, but action waters them, nourishes them, forces them through soil into sunlight. Carnegie acted on investments others dismissed. Edison acted on inventions others ridiculed. Disney acted on imagination others mocked. You must act. Today, tomorrow, without waiting for confidence, without waiting for the perfect moment. Every small step, every bold move, every decisive choice carries the echo of inevitability. That the life you believe in is the life you are creating with your hands, your mind, and your spirit. Resilience is the crown upon belief's head. You will fail, you will stumble, you will encounter moments when everything around you seems to collapse. And in these moments, you have two choices: surrender or rise. History is filled with those who surrendered, and they are forgotten. History is defined by those who rose, who believed in themselves when the world doubted, who persisted when the impossible whispered in their ears. Resilience is not passive endurance, it is active defiance. It is a declaration that no setback, no failure, no insult, no disappointment will alter the trajectory of your destiny. It is the pulse of unstoppable energy within the soul. Adaptability strengthens resilience. The world changes, circumstances shift, and rigidity becomes a cage. Edison adapted experiments. Lincoln adapted strategies. Ford adapted production methods. Disney adapted vision into reality across mediums. Adaptability is not surrender, it is strategy. It allows you to bend without breaking, to flow without losing direction, to pivot while maintaining purpose. To believe is essential, but to believe and remain flexible is unstoppable. Obstacles cease to be walls. They become lessons, opportunities, and redirections toward your ultimate purpose. Gratitude is the secret engine that fuels your journey. It amplifies belief, attracts opportunity, and strengthens resolve. Carnegie appreciated knowledge and gave libraries. Edison appreciated innovation and illuminated the world. Disney appreciated imagination and created joy across generations. Gratitude does not diminish ambition, it magnifies it. It allows the mind to recognize abundance where others see scarcity, to turn setbacks into insight, and to convert every obstacle into a stepping stone. The life that practices gratitude becomes magnetic. The universe responds to it. Energy aligns. Opportunity converges. Belief transforms into manifestation. Learning is the engine of refinement. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every rejection becomes a teacher. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. Edison's failures were his education. Lincoln's defeats sharpened his strategy. Ford's inefficiencies became catalysts for innovation. Carnegie's mistakes refined his understanding of wealth and influence. To stop learning is to stop becoming. To embrace learning is to accelerate toward mastery. The mind that constantly absorbs, evaluates, and applies is the mind that transforms belief into undeniable results. And now, at the pinnacle of understanding, you see the immutable truth. Your life is nothing more and nothing less than the reflection of what you choose to believe. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the stars align, but today, in this moment, now. Your thoughts, your vision, your purpose, your discipline, your action, your gratitude, your adaptability, your resilience, your learning, they are the blueprint, the hammer, the fire, the forge of your destiny. Decide today. Decide to believe. Decide to act. Decide to persist. Decide to become. Because the world does not wait. Fortune does not delay. Destiny cannot be postponed. You become what you believe, and today, that journey begins with you. Decide today, because every second you hesitate, the life you are capable of creating slips through your fingers. The extraordinary does not wait for comfort, for permission, or for certainty. It is claimed by those who move with conviction, who believe with fire, who act with relentless purpose. Imagine standing in the footsteps of Edison as the first bulb lit the darkness. Imagine walking beside Lincoln as the nation trembled and yet persisted, holding to an unshakable vision of unity. Imagine witnessing Carnegie build empires and knowledge while the world doubted. Imagine Disney transforming imagination into joy and wonder that would echo across generations. Now understand this, you possess the same power, the same potential, the same capacity to command reality itself. The difference is not in circumstance, not in talent, not in luck. It is in what you choose to believe and how decisively you act upon it. Your belief is the cornerstone of everything you will ever achieve. Without it, you are subject to the whims of circumstance, drifting like a ship without a rudder. But when belief is rooted, anchored in clarity, strengthened by purpose and refined by discipline, it becomes unstoppable. It becomes the invisible hand that moves obstacles aside, the unshakable compass that guides your every step, the engine that converts thought into action and action into legacy. You must believe with such intensity that doubt becomes inconsequential, that fear is merely a shadow passing through the brilliance of your mind, that hesitation collapses before the weight of your conviction, and clarity transforms belief into precision. You must see your life not as a distant possibility, but as a vivid, tangible reality. Picture every detail, every outcome, every triumph as if it were happening now. Edison imagined a world bathed in light long before the filament glowed. Ford saw a future where mobility belonged to everyone, before the first car rolled off the line. Lincoln envisioned a nation united while the world doubted. Carnegie imagined libraries and empires where others saw only poverty and limitation. Clarity is the blade that cuts through confusion, aligning every thought, every action, every choice with the undeniable reality of your destiny. Purpose is the fire that sustains you when the path darkens. There will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be moments when the world seems determined to crush your vision. But purpose is relentless. It does not bend. It does not waver. It does not surrender. Purpose is what kept Lincoln speaking, writing, and acting when enemies surrounded him. Purpose is what drove Edison to test filament after filament in the cold, lonely nights. Purpose is what pushed Carnegie to build, to give, to influence, when every voice of doubt tried to stop him. Without purpose, belief is aimless. With purpose, belief is unstoppable. Discipline converts vision into reality. Every great achievement, every monumental success, every enduring legacy is supported by discipline. It is the quiet, invisible force that ensures action aligns with intention, that persistence overcomes fatigue, that strategy is executed without compromise. Ford's factories did not operate on wishful thinking. They operated on discipline. Edison's inventions did not illuminate the world by chance. They illuminated it through disciplined experimentation. Disney's kingdoms did not emerge overnight. They emerged from decades of disciplined imagination made tangible. Discipline is the engine that drives belief toward outcome. It is not punishment, it is loyalty, devotion, and unwavering commitment to your vision. Action is the heartbeat of transformation. Dreams alone are powerless, thoughts alone are insufficient. You must move, you must do, you must act with courage even when fear rages within. Carnegie acted boldly despite uncertainty. Edison acted tirelessly despite repeated failure. Lincoln acted decisively despite chaos. Disney acted creatively despite ridicule. And you must act now, today, without waiting for permission, without waiting for confidence, without waiting for the perfect conditions. Every step, no matter how small, carries the weight of inevitability that the life you believe in is already being built by your own hands. Resilience is the crown that secures your belief in place. Life will test you. The world will resist. Circumstances will conspire against you. And in those moments, resilience is the force that refuses to yield. It is the quiet insistence that failure is temporary, that defeat is not permanent, that every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. Edison failed thousands of times. Lincoln faced betrayal, loss, and death. Ford confronted doubt and failure. Disney met ridicule and rejection. Yet they persisted because resilience is not optional. It is the natural consequence of unshakable belief combined with action. Adaptability strengthens resilience. The world is never static. Industries collapse, technologies evolve, fortunes rise and fall. The mind that cannot adapt will break. The mind that can pivot, bend, and evolve without abandoning purpose becomes unstoppable. Edison adapted his experiments. Lincoln adapted his strategies. Ford adapted his production. Disney adapted his imagination into reality. Adaptability does not weaken conviction. It amplifies it. It turns obstacles into lessons, challenges into stepping stones, and resistance into fuel for progress. Gratitude transforms belief into magnetism. It is not a passive feeling. It is an active force that amplifies vision, attracts opportunity, and sustains energy. Carnegie gave knowledge because he recognized its power. Edison illuminated the world because he honored the spark of possibility. Disney created joy because he valued imagination. Gratitude clears the mind, sharpens focus, and multiplies results. Carnegie gave knowledge because he recognized its power. Edison illuminated the world because he honored the spark of possibility. Disney created joy because he valued imagination. Gratitude clears the mind, sharpens focus, and multiplies results. It allows your belief to expand beyond limitation, attracting more than effort alone could ever generate. Learning is the compass that guides belief toward mastery. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a teacher. Every challenge becomes a classroom. Edison experimented ceaselessly. Lincoln studied endlessly. Ford innovated tirelessly. Carnegie sought knowledge relentlessly. To stop learning is to surrender. To embrace learning is to accelerate toward mastery. Belief fueled by learning becomes irresistible, unstoppable, and inevitable. And now, the final truth: you are the sum of your beliefs. Not tomorrow, not someday, but today, in this very instant. Your mind, your clarity, your purpose, your discipline, your action, your resilience, your adaptability, your gratitude, your learning, they are the architects of your life. Decide today. Decide to believe so fully, so deeply, so irrevocably, that the universe itself conspires to align with you. Decide to act, to persist, to rise, to become. Your destiny awaits. The life you imagine, the legacy you desire, the greatness you are capable of, it begins with your decision, here, now, today. Decide, and the world must obey.